Spoiler alert. I repeat, spoiler alert. Hi, I'm 2 weeks postpartum with the baby that I was prepping for. So this vlog is pretty much everything I did to prep my body and my house for labor. And let me say, I'm so thankful for my past self, like from the chicken soup to the clary sage, the ball rolling, the stretches. I had such a great birth. I had such a great end of pregnancy experience. And I just vouch or like stand by everything I talk about in this vlog. I know. Hi. So spoiler alert for the birth vlog. This is our third baby boy, Harlow Judah, which I announced on Instagram. This is the labor prep vlog and I just thought I would do a little intro now. So we're gonna start off with the soup that I've made for all 3 of my boys. This is for my postpartum experience. So I'm actually gonna go downstairs and have one of the sachets of soup now. So this is the traditional Chinese medicine postpartum chicken soup. That's a really long name that I've made for all 3 boys. And I hope you enjoy this vlog of my final pregnancy and getting my body ready for labor. When your slow cooker is the same size as your stomach, you know it's time to make postpartum traditional Chinese chicken soup. This is my 3rd time making this soup recipe. I've made it with Fox, Malachi, and baby number 3. So I get this recipe from my acupuncturist. I just made it 2 weeks ago for my older sister who just had the most incredible home birth. And now we're gonna make it for me. As I mentioned, it's a traditional Chinese soup that I got from my acupuncturist. And essentially it's supposed to just get everything back into alignment after you give birth. Giving birth is an intense marathon. Your hormones are going crazy. It's a part of that whole thing of just like getting your blood flow in check, nourishing your hormones. And I've always had a really good postpartum experience in terms of my hormones. So I'm kind of like, don't fix what's not broken. Keep in mind, all of this you can cut really rustic because we're gonna discard it. The only thing you're going to actually consume is the broth and then shredded chicken. So this can be like really rough. I've got 3 stalks of celery, 2 carrots. Try to get organic if possible. You just want this as like wholesome, natural as possible. A brown onion, just roughly chopped. I love parsley. I'm gonna add a lot, but just a handful of parsley. As I said, it's very rustic and you're going to discard it mostly anyway. That is our veggies. This is not my favorite brand, but like, I don't know what's going on. There's like a whole chicken shortage in my area at the moment. I've been waiting for 2 weeks to make this soup. Anyway, this is the most natural, free range, no added hormones chicken I could find, a whole chicken. And now do not be discouraged if you can't find this because this is my first pregnancy that my acupuncturist has bundled all of this together. It's the Chinese herbs that you need for this soup. I will add them on the screen here. You can go to your local like Asian grocer and give them this list and they can help you find them. I have had to do that for both Fox's postpartum experience, Malachi's postpartum experience, but now I'm super lucky. The Dow, that's where I get my acupuncture for like labor prep. They now make single serve packs of this. Honestly, I don't even know what is what, but it smells herby. So this is kind of the crux, the creme de la creme, the diamond of this soup. It's all about these herbs. Now let's go put it in our slow cooker. I forgot the ginger. And then you're just going to add filtered water until it lightly covers the top. This is just a really big chicken, so I feel like this is gonna make a lot of soup. Okay, I'm officially 5 days away from my due date, which means labor prep is in full force. I did have to take a little hiatus from anything like, not even induction, but like encouraging my body to go into labor because I got so sick 3 days ago. I came down with like the most hectic flu. But yeah, my due date is in 5 days, so we are in full labor prep mode. We need to leave in like 20 minutes. I have my 4th acupuncture appointment. I thought I would bring you guys along. I want to be really cautious that this part of the vlog isn't necessarily like tips. It's more so what I do to prep my body for labor. I think so much of this comes down to your own personality, and you need to decide what makes you feel the most confident, calm, and excited for labor. For my personality, I like to feel like I'm doing everything I can to like set myself up for success. You don't necessarily have to do anything in terms of labor prep, as long as you're taking care of your body in the best way you can. Like, your baby's going to come when they're ready. So before we go to acupuncture, the first thing I've been trying to do, particularly this pregnancy over the last, is just ensure my body has this sense of safety and nourishment to go into labor. So this whole pregnancy, I've been so bad at drinking enough water. So I'm just ensuring that I'm staying hydrated, eating heaps of fruit, veggies, just as healthy as I can. So when I do go into labor, my body's the healthiest it can be post-flu. So I've been taking this Stanley cup everywhere with me. All right. Okay, so again, particularly this tip or like labor prep thing that I do, this is super optional. This is my 4th acupuncture session of this pregnancy. I usually start around like 36 weeks pregnant, and I've done it with all 3 of my boys. I've just personally seen such incredible results from acupuncture, whether it was like balancing my hormones, managing my PCOS back in the day, getting my period back. I'm just such a huge believer of traditional Chinese medicine. So I'm gonna go in and I see Liz at the Dow, and this is also where I've bought my chicken soup herb mixture from that you guys would have seen. So I don't know what to tell her, because my last session I said like, get me into labor, I'm done, like I'm so ready to meet this baby. So I did cupping, all the induction points. You can't force your body into labor, but it just like encourages the blood flow and everything. But I will tell her I'm still a little bit under the weather, like I'm not completely better. So I don't know whether I just focus on like health or what, but hopefully this is my last session. But I've gone over with all boys, so I've always had acupuncture either like on my due date or the day after. So I'm 39 weeks in 2 days, so pray that this is my final acupuncture appointment, but it could be my 2nd last or even 3rd last.
Exhale, letting it go as we come to the first beat. Visualizing baby being welcomed into the birth canal, coming in through to the points to calm the central nervous system.
I'm home from acupuncture and I've been advised chicken bone broth soup, which luckily I happened to make yesterday. Every time I get sick, I make a healing soup. She also looked at my tongue and said I need to have a big steak for dinner.
Just poking the tongue out for me. So homework is a big steak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be my lunch bone broth soup, and this is gonna be my dinner, this nice big steak that I'll share with the boys. That was one of the most relaxing acupuncture sessions I've had, and I have found that the closer I get to birth, the more chill I feel. My hormones just are in alignment for labor. So after she takes the needles out, she puts these little stickers on a few of my pressure points. I need to scrub up my memory of like what point does what, but I definitely used this as like a pain management tool in my labor with Malachi. So the stickers not only kind of serve as a guide to remind you to press them, but they have a little needle in the middle of the sticker. There's one for like pain management, there's one to bring baby down, there's one to stimulate labor. So I've got them here, I have them on my ears, I have one in my chest, and then I have some on my feet and my legs. She did the cupping to help my cough and like move the congestion around, and then then she did some points on my face again to help just like get rid of any congestion. And then pretty sure the rest of the points were for like labor, baby's position and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm gonna have this for lunch and then we'll go on to my next labor prep tip. In my previous 2 labors, I would usually sit down with my lunch and have a red raspberry leaf tea. If you've been looking at like labor prep and just like what to do to get your body ready to give birth, you definitely would have seen or heard about red raspberry leaf tea. Again, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a medical practitioner, I'm just a mum of 2, almost 3. My sister is a midwife, so I feel like I chat to her a lot with everything. This is just mum advice, right? From my understanding, there isn't a whole lot of clinical studies and research that back up red raspberry leaf tea, but I'm the kind of personality that I'm like, I'd rather just do it. There's not necessarily a bad side of trying it. So red raspberry leaf tea is thought to help tone your uterus. Basically, it's going to help your contractions be more effective in getting the baby down and out into the world. I do have 2 red raspberry leaf teas. Obviously, you want to get as natural and organic as possible. And I drank the tea with both Fox and Malachi. I think from maybe like 36 weeks onwards, I was having 1 cup and then I would up it to 2 cups a day from like 37 or something onwards. However, with this baby, I got given this Naturo Best birth prep from Liz at the Dow. And this actually has 300 milligrams of raspberry leaf extract. So it's just a lot more potent than having the tea. But again, if you don't want to grab this, I have had the teas before, you can do both. A lot of people like to have this iced, so you can actually brew this, put it in the fridge and then mix it with like a hydrolyte of your choosing or some berries just to make it a little bit more appetizing if you're not into like that herbal tea taste. But I do have 2 of these around lunchtime because you have to have it with food. Let's pray that this soup makes me completely better. Whoa, look at that jump scare. I feel like I'm truly carrying the world's heaviest bowling ball on my vagina right now. I'm so ready. Any anxiety, fear, or just like apprehension over labor that I had is completely gone because I'm just ready to get things going. I'm 39 weeks and 5 days today. It's the 20th of October, 2024. I have a few little updates. So on Friday, I actually went into hospital for my first ever episode of decreased movements, like fetal movements, because this baby has been crazy active my entire pregnancy, which has been good because it's been really easy to track how he's going. Like even when I was super sick with that flu, he moved the whole time. But on Friday, he just wasn't himself. He was really sedentary. So I went into hospital just to be safe and they checked him, just like with the heart rate monitor. They said he's all fine and they palpated me and he is currently LOL, which is okay. Like his position, it's not posterior, but it's not as anterior as I want him. And he is pretty much engaged in my pelvis. She said she couldn't like wiggle his head around my pelvis very much, so he's pretty lodged down there, which he could still always like pop up a little bit because it's my 3rd baby, but I just feel so low, particularly all day today. We've just come from church. All service I was having Braxton Hicks and they're not painful at all. Like particularly being my 3rd pregnancy, I really know the difference between a contraction and Braxton Hicks and like my body just prepping, but I can feel like my body is just getting ready to go into labor, but I need to tell myself I'm more likely to go over because I've gone over with both boys, but I feel like it could be really any day now. I feel he's so low. My Braxton Hicks are so constant. I'm just ready. Oh, I'm just ready when you are. Anyway, 39 and 5. I'm really emotionally ready to be in labor. In terms of my sickness, I'm feeling so much better. I don't know if you can hear, it's just turned into like a sinus kind of thing. So I've just been blowing my nose. I do unfortunately still have a bit of a cough, but I feel fine. Like I'm not achy, I'm not bedridden anymore. I feel like my normal kind of energy. So that's good. The incredible peanut ball. My older sister, who's a midwife, this is actually hers that she lent to me, and she swears by this thing. When she was in labor, she just laid on her left side with her legs in the peanut ball, and she swears that this is what helped get her baby in position. So I have mentioned I've had 2 posterior labors before. So when I found out this baby was posterior, every single day I would lay on my left side with my feet in the peanut ball, and then a week later I would get checked and he would be back in an optimal birth position. So I also do kind of swear by this peanut peanut ball. It's really comfortable. It kind of feels like it's opening up your pelvis and freeing up space. So whenever I can, I just chill watching TikToks or listening to my birth playlist. I just lay in bed and I wrap my legs around the peanut ball, always laying on my left side. I do a lot of hip mobility and pelvic work on this ball from like 34 weeks onwards. Whenever I can, this is where I'm sitting. I bring it up to my office. Sometimes I even sit at the dinner table with it. For me, it's really whatever feels good. So when my baby was posterior, I was doing some spinning babies circuits. You can do the mile circuit. Honestly, just Google spinning babies and it's basically just a way to get your baby in position. But at the moment, at 39 weeks, I'm just doing whatever feels nice. And I feel like because he's so low on my cervix, I'm just doing some pelvic rocks, some rotations, figure eights, whatever feels good. But if you're unsure, there are so many tutorials on YouTube or TikTok. You can just type in like spinning babies, mile circuit, or hip mobility. So really whatever feels good for you. But this is just to encourage my hips to move, baby to get in position, and just ensuring that I feel nice and flexible and limber for labor.